times. But right before we begin, I just want to show you guys, oh my goodness, you don't know how many comments I've gotten on not even the slime video, but just these guys in general. With the update coming around, you guys are like, dude, you have to check out the slimes, you have to review the slimes. And today, my boys, I'm gonna go ahead and give the people what they want, so let's get right into it. Alright, so we're starting off here with Firesign, because remember, guys, they all got the update, in case you don't know, which obviously, if you don't know, you know now. Anyway, we have the Fire Slime, who's coming in with 35k HP. I forgot to mention that he's a tank type, coming in with 35k HP, 2k attack, and then nearly 1.6k defense. Nothing incredible there. He is in that one, the lowest of the low, so don't expect too much from him. But he comes in with a double attack down. 60% chance for 2 turns for both of his skills. Definitely nothing amazing, better than it was before. Is he usable in any place? If you needed a mon to apply attack down, which normally 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be Titans, I would say probably not, because while his attack down is pretty good, his defense isn't very good at all. And even with 2 defense gems, still, like, you're really pushing the probability, or you're really pushing him to the max, to the point where he would actually become useful. But 2 gems of defense already given to him is already a steep investment to do. And that last gem, I mean, you pretty much have no choice of what you got to build him with. So I wouldn't really say this one is useful at all. Obviously, if you need a mon that was cheap and easy to Evo 3 for the attack down, you could use him for whatever content that you need attack down in. But other than Titans, or maybe Colossus, which other units have attack down on them anyways, there's not really much use for him. But let's move on to the water. Alright, so next up we have the Water Slime, who's a defender type, coming in with 24k, nearly 25k HP, 1.7k attack, and then 2.6k-ish defense. Yeah, nearly 2.6k defense. Boys, this is a nat 1, and his defense stat is actually pretty darn good. His HP is acceptable, but his defense stat is actually pretty darn good, which is nice because they're showing some love to the lovely slimes. This one comes in with resistance down and then stun. Now his resistance down grants a 100% chance to reduce his enemy's resistance for 2 turns. So you can't resist resistance down, so it's always going to be 100%. Very important, very important. And then he has a 60% chance for stun for 1 turn of all enemies, because slimes are AoE, I believe. No, slimes aren't AoE. Slimes are single target. Slimes are single target, boys, if I can read this correctly, which sometimes I don't know if I can read. So not much utility with his 5-star skill. Not a big fault of it. I mean, it is a nat 1. But the main selling point, the main moneymaker for this dude is the resistance down on a 3-star skill. And with his stat allocation, you shouldn't have any problem using him maybe in somewhere like Tower of Chaos, or even PvP, especially when the Nat 3 League rolls in, because of his buff stats. But the real moneymaker is if you're having a mon that is resisting you being able to either sap them or stun them or shock them. If you have a mon that can do resistance down, which everyone now has access to a mon that can do resistance down, congratulations. You can now hopefully stun that mon. You can hopefully now shock them. This is great. Apply sap, whatever you want to apply to them, and this is free for newbies to get as well. So if you don't have like a water Shajing, hopefully, I always mess up his name, a water Sha, or like a Wood Hohenheim or Light Griffin or anything like that, but you want to test resistance down, this is the mon to get. And like another guy in Discord was having a problem with Tower of Chaos. If you're trying to CC Dark Odin or Hades or someone like that, and you can't CC them, go ahead and slide in a Water Slime. Let Water Slime do his move first, and then attack with him, and he could actually do work. So I would say he's viable. Is he perfect? No, but he's definitely viable in all kinds of content for the game, of any mon that you need to have some resistance loss on them to apply debuffs. So he gets a thumbs up in my book. Moving on, we have the Wood Slime, who's an attacker type, coming in with 26k HP, 2.3k attack, and then 1.5k defense. His stats are okay, nothing amazing. HP is okay, defense is okay, but I mean, not defense, but his attack is okay. Defense is just gag me with a machete. He comes in with defense down, 60% chance for 2 turns for both of his skills, which he is single target with. Once again, really any use for this mon. By the time you get his stats up to where they need to be, that's already a big investment in my opinion, and there's other mons that can do the same job. I don't believe there's a whole bunch of mons that can do double defense down, but there's plenty of mons that can do pretty darn similar to it, especially like Wood Banshee can do defense down for her 5-star skill, which hits everyone. Overall, I mean, if you needed a quick, easy wood mon that can do defense down, he would be something that you could pick up and use for the time being. But even mons like Wood Miho would be much more beneficial, because not only can you control them debuffing a mon with doing defense down, but Wood Miho does have the ability to stun them, if I'm remembering her moves correctly, as well. So you have an added bonus of being able to CC a mon if you want to, versus just doing defense down on them. Double defense down is mainly used for Titan mons anyways, and I personally don't see this one being used in Titans, but I could be wrong. And in terms of the Nat 3 League, once again, I would just bring in another mon that can do debuffing and CC if I was going to bring a debuffer in, or a mon that can do a debuff and all kinds of damage. But that's my opinion on it. Let's move on. Next up, we have Light Slime, who's a balance type, coming in with nearly 29k HP, 1.7k attack, and then 1.7k defense. Definitely stays true to the balance with the attack and defense. HP is phenomenal. The rest, not so much in my opinion. And it comes in with double shock, 60% chance for 1 turn for both of those. And even though it's single target, I personally still can't really recommend this one. I mean, maybe if you paired it with the Water Slime, especially in terms of PvP, that would be more interesting. But overall, shock for 1 turn, 60% chance, isn't really that good. It really isn't that good. I would say shock minimum 2 turns, 60% chance, or shock 2 turns minimum 70% chance would definitely boost him up quite well and make him a lot more usable. This isn't bad, but it's really not good either. I don't personally see a big use of him in the Nat 3 League, just because his stats are very, very low. And even with the stat boost, 1 turn shock, dude, 1 turn shock, that's almost just like being stunned for 1 turn. There's really no benefit towards that. I love my shock to be 2 turns only. So for him, of course, Astro Guide in terms of PvE uses, I mean, if you want to use shock instead of stun, feel free to do that, but you're not going to get damage out of him, and shock for 1 turn, once again, is just meh in my opinion. But let's move on to the dark one. Alright, we have the dark one here, who's a tank type, coming in with nearly 38k HP, 1.4k attack, and then 1.3, nearly 1.4k defense. All kinds of HP on him, all kinds of HP, which he is a tank. Tanks should have lots of HP on them, and he has that. The attack and defense are nothing to talk about because they pretty much don't exist. But he is a double HP aggressor, so he is like the Nat 1 version, I want to say, of Dark Miho, which is very interesting. So obviously you would build him with triple HP. I'm just curious to see how his HP scales with Dark Miho's. Obviously not super evolved, but 37k. She has more defense than him. Hella more defense. But their HP is like exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I'm not saying expect the same damage out of Dark Slime as you would Dark Miho, because his attack and defense is obviously a lot lower than hers, so he's going to be susceptible more to taking damage a lot easier than Dark Miho is. But I don't see him being a horrible mon to use for anyone. Like, honestly, if you want to try an HP aggressor out, hey, go for it. If you don't have a Dark Miho, but you really want an HP aggressor, go ahead and pick him up. I'm not going to say he's going to be super duper amazing, but I feel like with the Nat 3 League, maybe someone has tested this already. He could still probably hold his own up in there. Like, honestly speaking, if you give him some nice crit rate on him and some resist, he could probably hold his own during the Nat 3 League. In terms of PvE, obviously not a Titans mon. You could run him in clan versus clan, but his main issue is just his lack of defense. His HP is fine, attack's fine, because we don't even care about the attack stat either. But his defense is just so freaking low that, you know, it's 1k lower than Dark Miho's. Imagine Dark Miho with 1k lower defense on her. even with all the HP, you're still going to be having a lot of it being eaten up by moves because of the lack of defense to go along with the HP. So in PvE, I couldn't really recommend him anywhere unless you're just a newbie starting off or you're curious about an HP aggressor. But during the Nat 3 League, he definitely gets a wonderful boost, which I feel like he's usable in, especially with his, what was it? Yeah, his variant skill of having Grace of Life, which increases allies' HP by 20 to 25%. Running that lead and boosting his HP would be great. However, of course, resistance down frickin' leads or leads that decreases your team's overall attack is a lot more worthwhile. So if you're just beginning the game, feel free to pick him up. You could still use him in Nat 3 League once Nat 3 League comes around, but I gotta retract that offer, man. I gotta retract that statement and say he's okay. He's okay once the Nat 3 League is in. Other than that, is he usable? Usable, but I mean, there's other mons that do a lot better damage, but from an aggressive standpoint, he fits the role. He fits the role. But that's pretty much it for the slime review, my boys. I definitely hope you guys enjoy this because you guys have been asking about this for a while and leaving comments in the videos about a freaking slime redo. In terms of overall uses, though, I would say water is probably going to be the most useful for everyone. And maybe dark if you feel like having a slime HP aggressor versus like a dark Nihil or someone like that. The other ones, I honestly don't find any utility being there with them. Of course, double defense down and double attack down works, but there's other mons with better stats in areas like Titans that would be a lot more usable. And even in terms of the Nat 3 League, I don't find the fire, wood, or light to be super duper useful, even with the stat boost, just because their moves lack the oomph that they need. But water and dark are definitely, probably water number one in my opinion, would probably be the most useful all around, regardless of what content you're doing, especially for new players or players that want to use the mon with resistance down but don't want to invest in, you know, a Nat 5 that they may never get, or a Nat 5 that they're waiting to get, which they may never get. But that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. Feel free to leave a comment below if I forgot something, or if you guys know an area where you can use these other elements of slimes at. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Just remember, if you like this video, go ahead and like it, and go ahead and sub to your boy so you don't miss the next video. But peace out, you guys.